Likewise.
Welcome to my channel. Great. So can we start with a short introduction about you, what you're doing?
All right. All right. So I'm a computer engineer by profession, and I graduated from an engineering university here in Karachi, NAD University. I graduated back in 2019 as a computer systems engineer. After that, I joined a company, 40 Pay Private Limited. It is a startup. It is a fintech startup basically. So I joined as a software engineer over there. I worked over there for about more than a year and a half, and then later I joined Bazaar Technologies as a software engineer. I recently joined Bazaar Technologies. It is also a startup. So yes, my introduction would be that I'd like to uh, play with my analytical skills. I like to solve problems. I like to dive into the technologies, the cutting edge technologies. So yes.
That's nice. I was looking at your LinkedIn profile and the number of projects that you have done. You have written a good list of projects there. The criminal record management system, the elevator control system. When did you do so much?
Yeah, so these are all my academic projects, the
Oh,
projects I did in my 4 year bachelor's degree. So I am supposed to update them as well now.
okay.
The yes,
I was looking for them in your GitHub repository as well, but maybe they were academic projects, so you did not upload them.
yes, I have not uploaded them.
Okay. That's nice. It's a wide range of projects here. Elevator control and wireless communication with Arduino, and then also tourist management. So I think you have covered a lot of the IT industry there, a lot of the domains.
Yes, so I'm a computer system by profession, right? So I graduated. So the computer system comprises of both the hardware, software, and the networking part. So my academic projects will include all of them. Like I
Okay.
have worked on networking as well, the hardware part as well. The elevator control system was about the digital logic design, the circuits, the logic circuit theory, everything. And then the terminal record management was related to the schemas and the databases. I think that I'm more towards a specific field now. I'm more towards software engineering part. Uh, the hardware part is also good, but it doesn't really excite me. So yes, I have chosen a specific domain in which I am currently working, and that is the software engineering part.
Okay. And you said you're into a fintech startup now.
I was in a fintech startup.
Okay.
So yes, so I have worked as a software engineer over there, but I learned many things of financial technology, how things work in a country or overall worldwide. So yes.
Okay. And so how was the work? Like, what does it mean when you're working in a fintech startup? And
Hmm.
what is the kind of work
So
that you get?
Hmm. So fintech, when the word fintech comes, everything relating to finances and technology, everything related to finance plus technology would be like things including a lot of security. Because when we talk about our bank accounts, when we talk about our cards, when we talk about our wallets, the first thing that comes into our mind is our data is not breaching. Due to this, still many of the older people, I'd say, do not believe in the system. So what we did was to like it was basically a startup, and the main idea of the startup was to send payments, like the WhatsApp payment thing,
Mhm.
send payments to one peer to another peer, and with an ease of like a message, very easily. No bank and bank account systems, the banking mobile application systems, just one app, and it has all the bank accounts you want to link. So I'd say that I learned a lot of data security over there. I learned what things to keep in mind when
Mhm.
coding, when writing good code, and when thinking about the information security part as well. So that was very important. I'd say that fintech includes uh, a lot of information security. So like if we build a new feature, a new thing, So the primary concern of us would be, will it not breach the user's history or user's profile, etc. So yes, I'd say the fintech would be different from other software houses or other software systems would be that involves a lot of security. And if it breaches the security, I think no one will trust that system, and it would lose its reputation for lifetime. So yes.
Okay. So did you learn something more for that? Like, you know, did they teach you specific things after you joined the job, or what you learned in college was enough for that?
No, definitely not. So in college we think about things, but it is never real time. So when I jumped into my first job, I realized that it is way different than the academics, because academics is a lot about getting things done, just getting things done. It is never about the real time data, the real time things. So it taught me a lot, and I'd say that the academics matlab, it was really important, but not as efficient or as fruitful, productive as the job really was. So yes, it is pressure, it is everything, you name it. So
Okay.
yes. Hmm.
Okay. So was it a shock when you started the job, or you were expecting this?
So I will not say it was a shock. I am into industry. I am exposed to the industry, to the people from a various platforms, be it LinkedIn or whatever, but from my seniors as well. But
Okay.
when you experience that thing, it is new for you, definitely, because you haven't experienced that before, and it was new for me as well. Yes, so handling pressure was a thing that I learned, and that is not learned by just books and everything. That is learned by practicing and by experiencing new things. So I learned a lot, yes, definitely.
Okay. And how much of your work was related to actual coding, and how much was related to the domain of finance or banking? Like, did
Hmm.
you really need to understand banking?
Yes, definitely. So I think with each job it comes its benefits. So I'd say that I learned a lot about financial terms. Um, Being a girl, I'd say that people don't like consider. I was not much into banking before. I'd say that. Uh, Neither my family background was. But when entering into the industry, I realized that learning these things is very important, and I'd only excel if I know these things. So yes, I learned a lot about financial technology, and according to my work, my software engineering, the coding part, I learned a lot. So my part was not really into the financial technology. Uh, Not, I was given instructions by the product team, so there is a complete cycle of development of a feature or anything. The requirements come from the product team, which basically looks into it, and then it goes to the developer and everything. So I was not really into the financial technology, but it was very important for me to understand, because I cannot develop a feature if I do not know the importance of its security, or what fruit it will give, or what benefit it will give to the user, to the user experience. So it was very important for me to understand that. And yes.
Okay. So you learned that on job, or did somebody teach you that? Or did you learn it from some source?
So that is an interesting question. I learned a lot from my seniors, from my mentors. I'd say that I got an amazing team. They're always ready to help. But at the same time, I think one needs to push himself, herself as well. So uh, I I learned a lot of things from the YouTube, the big
Okay.
YouTube platform. Yes, so it has always been my teacher, the Google
Okay.
platform, from day one of the university. I'd say my mentors are very helpful, but definitely one needs to put in effort and needs to practice a lot. So many times I think the youngsters, the youth, watch lessons and watch YouTube tutorials only, and they just watch them, and they think that they know it. but they will never get to know them if they don't apply them. So it is not necessary that you work in a job and then you will learn it. You can learn it before that as well. You can practice it, and you can develop small projects like you mentioned. I know I need to update my GitHub as well. One needs to update their GitHub, because practicing on projects will only help you succeed. Just watching the tutorials will never it is my experience, and I have learned a lot from it. Yes, I used to like, some days there were some days I don't like to practice, and I just used to watch tutorials, but that wasn't fruitful at all. I used to forget everything after a few days, and that
Okay.
was because I never practiced it. So when I practiced it, I realized that this is the key.
Okay, that's interesting. So, like, one problem that often people face is there are too many videos on YouTube, and a
Hmm.
lot of them are absolute nonsense. So, how do you choose which one?
Yeah. So I'd say that if you want to learn a new thing, so just develop a roadmap for that, right?
Mhm.
So if one wants to learn JavaScript, and wants to be a web developer, so just write down the steps or the roadmap that will need you to require to learn JavaScript, the prereqs, and then the JavaScript course, right? So you are really right that there are a lot of tutorials, and most of them are just nonsense. But digging into that, I think whatever tutorial you first see, first dig into it, and it is not necessary that you know everything about that topic, right? So if you know a few things about that topic, then just dive into the coding and just
Okay.
practice it. So I think many a times you would never know if you just watch the tutorials. You would never know the real problems, right? So when you practice it, when the error occurs, then the code crashes, you would know that the code has crashed and you have to fix it on your own self. So after that, you have various platforms. You have Stack Overflow. You have many platforms. Like, I'd say Geeks for Geeks is amazing. I have learned a lot from it.
Mm.
There are a lot of platforms that I've learned a lot from it, but that is only when I got stuck. If you never get
Okay.
stuck, if you just watch the tutorials, I don't think it is of any use.
So, you mean just pick some tutorial, start with it, and then
Yes,
go to other platforms to
definitely,
polish yourself.
definitely, definitely. Also, there are people like, I know a few YouTube channels that are really good for Java, that are really good for JavaScript, that are really good for algorithms and data structures. So you can ask a person, or you can ask a, mentor, like anyone, and they'd refer you some channels as well. So then go for it and just don't stop. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, you will look for some particular channels, subscribe to those channels, and look for more videos there.
Hmm.
Any particular
Yes.
one that you can mention?
There are many.
Many.
Many. I watch Macmillan for
Okay.
JavaScript, Angular. Um, I watch the Code with Harry,
Code with Hari. Okay.
uh, and there are others as well. I watch. I don't remember his name. He's an Indian guy, and he has some amazing podcasts. So I watch that, the tech podcast. So
Okay.
there are many. I watch Java Brains.
Java Brains.
Java
Okay.
Brains. It is amazing. So yes,
Okay. That's nice. And your current company, you said it's not a fintech. It is doing
it is
something
not
else.
fintech. Yes, it is Bazaar Technologies. So it's basically, I'd say, the retail operating system. We want to make a retail
Okay.
operating system. Yes. So its idea is that our customer. It is a B2B retail industry, right?
Hmm.
So the idea is that our customers are businesses, the retail stores, the Kiryana stores, the stores around the corner everywhere. So what we want to do is that we want to that when the customer is like order something, so the brands directly deliver the order to the customer at the shop, rather than going to an external, like a big superstore, and getting all the things. So the brands directly transfer or order or complete the order of the customer, the Kirana store. And there are various things also with it, like we have data ledger. The digital ledger, like today, if you see, I'd say that in Pakistan, people maintain registers for records and for finances and everything. There is no, like, I think it is a smart world now. Our industry is getting very smart. So it is basically an application, mobile application, that would list down all the, that is for digital ledger. So it is a huge platform, and I think there are various opportunities for in Pakistan, because there are various shops, and many customers face these problems, like they don't yes, like they don't get the orders, or many a times they gather multiple shop owners, and then they gather all the orders and then go to the superstore and get the order. So our idea is that the brands directly
Okay.
deliver things to the shops.
Okay. But you're involved in the backend system or also in the sales?
Hmm.
I'm not following.
So I so I recently joined Bazaar Technologies in the mid of like August. I am a software engineer here, not directly related to the sales and operations, but I'm very much eager to like know these things, because as I said earlier, only you can only develop once you know the requirement and once you know what is needed in the industry.
Okay.
So I'd like to, yes, I have visited warehouses, and I'd like to visit more warehouses, and I'd like to see the process, the workflow, how it goes. Like when an order is punched, then it is loaded into a truck, and then a rider uh, delivers it to the customer, or
Mhm.
the shop, retail shop. Yes.
Okay. Because what I have seen in many countries, like when you are moving from a written register to a digital record, there's a lot of
Hmm.
resistance for the among the people. They don't want to keep their books aside. So
Yes, definitely, definitely it is. But I'd say that the technology is like overcoming the rigidity of our people, right?
okay.
So yeah, yes. So you can say that there are various like food delivery applications. Like there is Food Panda in Pakistan. It is prevailing very much. It is like there is Kareem Uber. It is a renowned.
Mhm.
So they have also overcame the rigidity of our people, the tech side, the resistance.
Okay.
So I say yes. So I like to like I'm hoping that in future that this will also like prosper, inshallah, because it is improving. I've seen people's mindset is improving. uh, you I'd like to say this. Few years back, we would like, if I can give the example of Karima and Uber, the cab services, we never think of cab services so handy and so like accommodating and available every time, right? So but it has overcome the issue right now. So this will also inshallah
Okay. It's
move the
moving.
resistance here.
It's moving
Yes,
fast.
it's improving.
That's great. Okay. So when you were a student, you had some idea about the IT industry or your future and you did something. Now, after a few years into the professional world, do you feel you should have done something better while you were studying or something different?
Hmm.
Or maybe you
Hmm.
feel that because of this, I'm here today, I should have done that. It's
Hmm.
good thing that I did.
Yes, so I'd go with both the points. First, I'd say that I think I'm not that type of a person who puts everything on platforms to motivate, or who puts a lot of effort in open source contributions. I didn't do that before. I am doing this now, but not before. So I'd say that even not I think it's very helpful for people, also for yourself. Like if I had published my projects back in my first semester or first year, I can improve those projects now, or I say that I had done that before. So I say that one of my fault was not to contribute in open source, but now I am doing that. And what I have done good, I'd say that the foundations, I believe, should be very strong of an individual. I am still improving, and I consider myself just a student, just an improving and an inspiring engineer developer. But the foundations should be very strong. So
Okay.
yes, that improves the clarity in your mind, and it visualize, and you can visualize in a better way. If the foundations are right, you can visualize things in a better way.
Okay. That's great. So you actually focused on developing good foundations, and today you feel that you did a good thing there.
Yes, I've seen people uh, running after technologies and languages. It should never be the thing. The main core thing would be learning the data structures and what helps those languages. Like what are the constructs and why are they important? What is good for what can bring efficiency, what is the new modifications, the new features. So I'd say all one should be towards one technology. Definitely the data structures will be only be implemented to a language and a technology, but never run after different technologies. Just learn after your basics, your data structures same and algorithms same.
Okay.
It will, yes.
Those concepts should be applied to all languages.
Exactly. It will be applied, like you can see the interview and the aptitude test of Google and Amazon and everything. So they also focus on your algorithm side, the data structure side. They don't focus on what different technologies you have under your name. They don't see that.
Okay. That's good. All over the world, we have seen that women are not represented in the IT industry. I don't know why, but very few come into the IT industry. Like it has changed a lot. When I was studying, it was just three girls in a class of 60. Today we have maybe around 30-70 ratio. Did you face any challenges while entering the IT industry, or for you it was never a problem?
Right. So challenges I won't say them as challenges, but yes, girls are less in number in technology. So uh, there is, I don't really see a problem in the mindset of the people. It is like, what I believe is that there are few girls, but now I believe that in my circle, this concept is improving. Like in like back in times, it was said that technology is not for girls, or girls cannot do coding and stuff. So I don't think it is much of a problem now. And for the challenges, I'd like to say that everyone, I am blessed with a great team, and so everyone who has always supported me. And alongside, I would say that definitely one needs to put in efforts as well. So it is a problem when asking questions. So I've seen that a few times people, you think that the questions are really stupid, and being a girl you should not ask it, but it is never the case. So I have seen the other side, the other gender as well, asking the similar questions, the
Okay.
similar stupid questions. Yes. So it is never a problem. I think one should never hesitate, and I think it is just a problem solving. So if you think you are a good problem solver, if you think you can manage things well, definitely go for it and develop your skill. Efforts, efforts are like, one should put in efforts, be it a man or a woman. So it is all the game of practice and lots
Okay.
of efforts.
So there is no particular obstacle to it, just people don't like to go that way.
Sorry.
Or like trying to understand why women are not in the IT industry, like lesser of them.
Hmm.
There's no obstacle. It's just that they don't like to go. Those who want to go have the road open.
Yes, exactly. There's no obstacle, and I think we are very in a comfort zone. Women,
Okay.
I'd say, they are sometimes in a comfort zone, and if we, it happens with me as well. If
Okay.
something doesn't go, I said something doesn't go well, and if I am stuck somewhere, and I don't know what to do next, and I have no clue, neither on any online platform I have any clue to solve this. I think we should not give up. Like women never give up in other fields as well. But I'm believing and I'm hoping that this thing is really improving now. So the ratio is very less, as you mentioned. It is still about the same, the 30-70 ratio, but it is improving to an extent. And
That's great.
it is very, yes, it is very motivating and exciting to see this ratio improving.
That's nice. So final question, like how would you advise somebody studying in college or somebody just passing out? What should they do to speed up?
Right. Speed up in what
Speed up,
sense?
like
Sorry.
how should they improve what they're doing?
Hmm. So they should like keep on practicing, and I think coding should never be left in any single day, right? So if you want to be a good developer, keep developing. It is not necessary to grind yourself and to burn out yourself. Uh, you can give 2 hours or an hour also. So just keep practicing, and I think consistency is the key. So yes, and even though if you want to just watch and you would like to just watch and the tutorials, I think it is good, but you should apply them as well. If you're not applying, then stop watching tutorials. It is of no use because it will, yes, it will never be in your mind, and it will, you cannot remember it, you cannot visualize it. So it is of no use if you are not applying. So yes, consistency is the key, and just keep progressing.
Wow. Thanks. Thank you very much. You have given very good insights. Most important thing you said, like you just to pick up any tutorial and then start practicing. And just watching videos is not going to help. That's a very important point that a lot of us miss. That's really nice.
Yes, actually I faced its consequences. The
Okay.
repercussions were very, it were very dangerous for me. So I faced that, and I'm glad that I have learned from my mistakes and I'm improving now.
Okay. It's very nice to just lie down with your mobile listening to some tutorial,
Bilkul.
but it's important
Exactly.
that you sit up and start typing something. That's a
Exactly,
very good point.
because even in your interviews, you cannot say that you know this thing. The interviewer is like, he's not a stupid person. He knows what you know, and what he can like, he can share your screen and he can ask you to share your screen and like write code and stuff. So it is very important to practice, and it will be seen, I think, in a few minutes. It will be seen if you do not practice and if you just know the theory part. So knowing theory is absolutely awesome. I think there are two types of people, right? So there are few people who don't know what's the logic behind it, and they just practice it. So knowing theory is awesome, but it, I don't believe it is the complete 100% part. It is not even the 50% part. So it is
Mm,
less than that. So practice is very important.
that's great. That's a very nice point. Thank you. Thanks a lot for joining. It will be a very nice session.